Hey guys, welcome back to Talk Story with me, Gavin Sugai, the podcast where we build communities together one conversation at a time. I'm here with Big E, Hawaii trainer, the founder of Everyday Better, Mr. Eric Yamashita.
Happy to be here.
Thank you for being on the
Looking
show.
forward to this for a long time.
Yes, definitely. We've rescheduled quite a bit of times, but here we are.
But good things take time.
Definitely.
Very worth it. Yeah.
Actually, a lot has happened since then. You know, a lot of with your brand, you've been you actually rebranded some of your products. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's been growing organically. I've been really excited with just how social media is amazing. I'm not a young guy, but social media is it's amazing vehicle for drama and negativity, or in my case, positivity, spreading good vibes and good energy. It's been really exciting. Very grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Actually, how did you get to the whole brand of Everyday Better? I think that's a interesting phrase too. It's not really proper English, but it works.
It's good that you asked that, and it's funny that I've been rolling around my head for years and years, and I talk about maybe 2 years ago I started saying it with my clients a lot, telling my son, telling my wife, just sometimes we just have to wake up and we have to realize life's not perfect. We want perfection all the time, but it's better to think about progress and just making every day better. So I thought about every day, better every day, and grammatically it's probably not even the correct term, but every day better sounds good and it sounded really catchy. And I just kept saying it, and my client's like, "Oh, that's kind of catchy." And I'm like, "Yeah." I told my son, you may don't want to go to school today, but you got to be every day better. Just do enough to increase. It's like Kaizen, being 1% better.
Right. And
then I wrote it down in like a little note on my phone. I thought, okay. And then I went, everyday better, EDB. I kind of like that. Like NBA, NFL, EDB. So I just kind of kept playing with it. And I was like, man, I just screwed around on a little app. And I said, okay, I'm going to make a shirt and just see. So I made a little logo, talked to one of my friends. He said, it looks pretty good. We should try to do that. I said, I just want something really, really bold, really, really simple that people can say that's catchy. Made a shirt and posted it. And we didn't really think about, actually before that, I started thinking about what am I going to do with this brand, what I want to do. And I thought, well, I really want to talk to people about just being positive. And then I realized people saying, it really encompasses a lot of things. So it's like, it became like a motto, a message. So all these M's, a mantra, a motivation, a meaning. And I thought about, it started out as fitness, but it really starts relating to being better with your communication, being better with your relationships, being better with your finances, being better with your family, being better with your religion, or being better with your social life. All these things can apply to school, can apply to any kind of thing. And so people started connecting with it. I started talking about it before I actually made the brand. And people were like, oh, I really like that. That makes sense. And then say, okay, I'm going to go on Instagram. I'm going to make the brand, make a page, and I'm going to go register it really quick. So I registered it. And April 1st. So we're coming on almost a year now.
Congratulations.
And it's been the most amazing year. And then I made a shirt, and I just like logos that are really simple and really basic that you can see from far away. And I made a shirt really simple, black and white, and we sold 50 shirts in like a day. And I'm not a young guy, but Instagram is pretty amazing. It's an amazing vehicle. And if you do something good, sometimes things grow like that. I've been fortunate enough to have it grow organically. I'm not a real techie guy. I don't have a laptop or an iPad. I don't have a website. So it's just basically been word of mouth,
Which I think is really interesting that your brand has gotten so far with no website, literally.
Yeah, so it's just me, brick and mortar. It's just me doing it, by myself, which has been fun. I mean, it's a labor of love. I work on it a lot. Probably don't get enough sleep. But like we go to my printers, Maui Bay Shirt Co. So we try to keep it local. And I pick them up and I pack them and I write every single address on the packages and I bring them to the post office.
Awesome.
So it's not like an efficient business, but then people always tell me how to run my business, but this is how I want to do it. And I'm passionate about it. And it's not really about the money. It's about spreading, these good vibes. And you get back. I mean, if you do good stuff, and I've been trying to be generous, and we're trying to do a lot of charity stuff. So it's been pretty amazing. Yeah. I realize if I keep my passion in it, and that's my focus, it's gonna be one thing. If I worry about the money, then it gets diluted, and I don't want to do that.
Right. Yeah. I feel the same way, at least for like my podcast too. Like, instead of worrying about sponsorships and stuff like that, I just worry. For me, I'm more concerned about the connection that I make with people and how if I'm spreading a good message. Right. I mean, there's a lot of like negative media out there, and just doing something positive for the community or just for an individual. That's
Right.
I think for me that's more rewarding, you know.
I think this whole process for me, I mean, it sounds not that selfish, but from what I've been giving, even if I never made $1, it's been so enriching for me, like validating for me, the
Right.
people I've met. So eventually I'm going to write a book just about the experiences, the connections I've made. Because I don't have a website, everybody sends me a message or a text or whatever. So I've had all these thousands of connections with people who, even if they haven't bought a shirt, they've reached out to me and said, you know, that message really spoke to me. It really got me in the feels. It made me feel like I have heavy, like, you know, I wanted to commit suicide. I saw that shirt that kind of gave me hope. I have someone with cancer. I had a stroke, or I'm having a relationship problems. I have money problems, and it's pretty amazing. So I try to screenshot and save all these things because eventually I'm going to try to put it together. Not going to necessarily use their names, but sometimes, you know, I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky person. I try to wear my heart on my sleeve on all my videos. I try to keep it really real. But some days I got junk days too. And some days I wake up and there's a message about somebody goes, dude, that shirt really, really made me happy. Or somebody gave me a gift or paying it forward, and it just makes me a day. So I think sometimes we don't need money or objects and material things to make people happy. We can do small things, small incremental change to make people's day better. And in turn, it made my day better. So it's kind of it's a dynamic that we kind of, you know, it's a positive cycle
Right.
that, you know, that I'm trying to help start. I didn't start this. Well, I started this one, but I think I just encourage people to do these things every day and think about, instead of a huge picture, it's very overwhelming. Like what we're going through now, it's very overwhelming. But if you
Yes.
think about one step in front of another and just think about positive steps I can do to make my day better, then we get consumed with these small tasks and it's happy. You know. Yeah.
And being better, at least 1% is better than 0%.
Right.
You know?
And sometimes we got to step back a couple steps to prepare ourselves for the next day.
Right.
But I mean, it's. I didn't think about it in the grand scheme, but more and more I'm realizing people go, man, it really applies to how
everything.
I think, or how I work out, or how I budget my stuff, or just like, and people like we have wristbands and stickers, so it's a constant reminder. So people go, I'm in traffic and I'm just, and I looked out, I go, oh, I better be I better keep it positive. So these small little, sometimes we just need little taps, need little reminders. Like, hey, Gavin, how you doing? If I just say, hey, Gavin, how are you doing? And even if I don't spend a lot of time talking to you, just the fact that I ask how you're doing, sometimes you go, wow, somebody cares.
Yeah, building value.
Yeah,
right there.
you know, and so I try my best to reach out to friends, and I'm a busy guy, but I realize that if I say I'm busy, that's kind of a cop-out. Sometimes we just need to take time to take a breath. First, I'm realizing too, as I get older, is take care of myself first, because I can't help you if I can't help myself.
Right.
So take care of myself, so every day better for myself first, and then that exude comes out. You know what I mean? So take self first. I mean, nowadays there's so much stress, so people need to worry about their mental health. We need to take time to take care of ourselves mentally and physically, but then we can help others too at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, it reciprocates.
We were just talking about saltwater therapy, you know,
Right, right.
literally going to the beach. Actually, if you're listening to this right now, we're actually going through a whole coronavirus epidemic. Literally, I guess that's what you would call it, you know, and we're in this situation, a lot of social distancing and how has that affected your businesses in general, you know, like
For me, I'm fortunate because I have a personal training studio that's private. So it's expensive because I have my own studio, but it's also beneficial because I have my own studio. So sadly, with the way economy is going on the nation, Hawaii, I think, is a little bit behind. We're catching up now with social distancing. So all the social aspects are being closed down, shut down. You know, eventually the malls are going to close. Restaurants, you can't sit together. No social gatherings, no events. So a lot of events are being postponed. The gym it's kind of a tough place because it's pretty cramped. You know? And they're worrying about cleanliness and people touching stuff. So I think pretty much all the gyms in Hawaii are closed. So for me, fortunately, I have a private studio. I'm very OCD about cleaning. So I clean everything. So business is still good so far. I'm hoping it stays that way. But then again, because Hawaii is a small island, I'm realizing that I have clients that have come in contact with somebody who maybe had a spouse that may have been tested or something. So people are slowly starting to postpone their sessions or whatever. And I'm happy for that because I'm not worried about the money I'm not going to get. I'm more worried about their health. And I don't want them to bring it to me. So you have to think, I think people need to realize it's hard not to be selfish. Like, you know, you got to come do this or it's affecting you. We have to think globally. I think I always try to preach, spread a lot as a community. So if, like, they're talking about millennials traveling a lot because it's cheap. And I'm 25 and I'm impervious. Because 25, that's the demographic not going to get sick, they think. But the sad part is these guys will travel and come back and they go see their grandpa or their tutu or their niece. And they can pass it to them. So even if they might not get sick, they can pass it to other people. So a lot of my clients are older, so they're smart. the chance of them passing to me or vice versa. It goes both ways. Yeah. So I think we have to be smart about our connections with people. If there's any chance that we have it, we can't come in. So I'm telling people to stay away. You know, I'm fortunate enough to have tried to plan ahead. So if business slows down, I'll be okay. Just have to be busy and be smart. You know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And in times like these, it's better to adapt. You know, I think a lot of businesses are not prepared for this kind of epidemic, and they weren't prepared for a virus like this to come over to Hawaii or to any other of the states.
Right.
You know what I mean? How is rebranding? We talked about this a little earlier before we recorded, but how is rebranding for yourself? How does that?
Well, I think like just talking about just thinking, you know, ahead and just being proactive. I think with these businesses, it's got to be tough because small businesses in Hawaii are directly affected. Yeah, I have friends who are in the visiting industry. They're not working already. It's going to trickle down to everybody. So like with Everyday Better, I want to use it as a vehicle to help people and change lives. So like the other day, Foodland announced that they're going to do senior shopping. So there's an hour where seniors can go and get their stuff and not have to fight the crowd. So I think that's awesome. Me in Hawaii had something about a place in Haleiwa that was doing delivery. So what I want to do is, if there's any businesses out there, please DM me, or if you see people tag me, I want to be able to spread the fact that there's businesses out there. We want to support local businesses. We want to keep the economy strong. If you have a business that is doing something to help the community or providing an option, we talked about a coffee shop. We can't come and sit in the coffee shop, but if the coffee shop is going to provide car hop service or bringing the coffee out or call-in service or delivery or whatever, then we want to help spread that word. So if you have a business or some kind of service that you can still do, you know, then please let Everyday Better Hawaii know. I want to be able to help people. So like we're talking about, like if I had a food place, you can't come and eat, but I would say, you know, we have a special. You know, if you buy a burger, we get a free fries and or something to bring customers in to let them know that we're still open, because you want to keep revenue coming in.
Right.
So like we talked about, like if every sale was $10, we might not make the $10, but if we make $7, it's still more than nothing. You don't want to close up. You want to keep the business going. You want to be able to give these employees some means of income, even if it's not the full income.
Right.
So whatever we can do to think outside the box, to rebrand your business and maybe make the menu smaller, have simple things. Instead of having 50 menu items, we're just going to do cheeseburgers, salads, and sandwiches.
Right.
And you come down and the sandwich is $12, but we're going to give it to you for $9, and we'll bring it out to your car. And we wash our hands. You know, just being positive on social media, spreading good stuff. And if we all if we support those businesses and those businesses rebrand themselves, we can all kind of survive. And that's what we need to do.
And people will remember that. You know
I
what
think
mean?
so. Yeah.
Especially after this epidemic, you know, passes, because I don't think it's gonna last forever. But
I hope not. Yeah.
I hope not. But I mean, you know, after a while, people will remember, hey, you know, Everyday Better did this for this business, or you know, paying it forward. You know what I mean, and being proactive in this kind of situation that people can be very negative about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and that's another thing to talk about, like how people have been kind of like paranoid from, you know, media and stuff like that, and we talk about social media, how it's such a positive influence for people that are spreading positivity, but it can also spread negativity. And we will have like, I don't know, news sources talking about whatever, you know what I mean? But I don't know if it's designed for that kind of fear tactic, but then, you know, some people take it as a fear tactic, you know?
It's easy to push gloom and doom.
Yeah.
It's easy to push, you know, violent videos or something really, really gross or something funny. So like I try to post fun stuff just to keep it light. But I think we have a responsibility to our friends or our spouse or our family to if we have the energy and the positivity to spread it.
Yes.
You know, it's I talk about spreading aloha. So I, you know, not to push my shirt, but I made a shirt because I keep saying we got to try to spread aloha, not corona. So we have lots of opportunities to just say, Gavin, how you doing? Even if I don't physically see, I call you up, give you a text. It's not a small thing. Text a friend. Tell people that you love them. Just reach out to people, see how they're doing. Like I have a friend. He's like, oh, dude, we're gonna go to the commissary, and we're gonna get toilet paper, something like that. Do you need anything? I was like, wow, that's so awesome. So I called my next door neighbor. I go, dude, you're not working. Like, you need anything? He goes, wow, why'd you do that? I go, because we're a community. I said, if you need an extra bag of rice, I can buy a bag of rice. $10. What's that? He's a super good neighbor. And we have neighbors across the street that are elderly. I said, we need to go talk to them today. He's like, yeah, that's a good idea. If we do small things, it doesn't cost me much. But just see if they have toilet paper or they need water, or maybe I got to go too long to get their medication. And just think about these small things that we can do. There's things that, because now we have a little more time.
Yeah.
You know, if we're not working, you know, we have a little more time. So we can use time to be frustrated and get really, really angry.
Right.
So I this is my pet peeve is people who complain but don't do any action. So I try to be the guy who's doing action because
Totally agree, yeah.
I have tons of ideas and I'm super hyper, even though I drink a lot of coffee. But I want to be the guy who's making change because it has to start with me. So I can talk about it and I can post all about it on Instagram. It's easy to do that. But if I'm not producing action, big deal. I got to practice what I preach, lead by example. So I'm not perfect by any means, but I think that I can produce more change and more action by trying to do something and then people in turn go, wow, that's a good idea. Let's do that. So trying to spread aloha, trying to create change, trying to make people more aware of positive stuff or business that are trying to help. We can kind of all get together as a community and then we get more concerned and focused on helping people. We're not so worried. We don't have enough time to worry about being obsessed with the gloom and doom and the danger and being mean and sitting home twiddling our thumbs. You know, we have lots of time now, so we can clean the house.
Yeah.
We can read a book.
Be proactive
Yeah.
in the situation.
We can read a book. We can write a book. We can do time to do the things that we always wanted to do. You know,
Do a podcast. You know.
yeah, and be smart. You know what I mean? So like, it's obviously you have to plan ahead and don't spend
Definitely.
crazy money. You're not going to travel. People are like, oh, we're not going to spend any money, but some people might not be making any money. So I'm sure we all know people that could use a hand. Like I help with a couple of charities where we help support like Pololo School and Puahali School, two schools that are kind of the lower economic side. So the sad thing is these kids, they depend on breakfast and lunch from the school. So this is I'm trying to make people aware now. So these kids don't have any source of food now. So they're out for a week, so now for 2 weeks. So a lot of these lower socioeconomic families, the parents got to work or can't work, and now the kids have no means of food. And some of them, these are the 2 square meals they get a day.
Wow.
So
Sad.
we're trying to figure out ways of helping these kids get meals. I don't know what the DOE is going to do, and I don't know what the logistics are, but we have to be aware of people around us that the kids, that's their time where they get education and they get, it's a safe haven. If the schools aren't there, we have a lot of kids who aren't educated, they're not stimulated, they're not fed. So,
Yeah.
I'm fortunate that my son goes to a private school, but, we need to think community-wise and globally what's what we can do to help people. We have enough. It's easy to be selfish, but then selfish is just, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't get people anywhere. I mean, I totally agree. Building a community. I mean, that's why this podcast has gotten to where it's at now. It's because of the community. People want to get together and they want to talk about things that are important.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it builds discussions, but it also builds relationships. And I think that's important, especially in this kind of time. There's social distancing, but we could still build relationships and still build value with each other,
Right.
even if it's 30 feet away or
we still
far.
can have dialogue. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I tell my son all the time, we have to be open-minded because it's easy for me to be Republican or Democrat, right or left or whatever. But I
Right.
think we have to be open-minded to see the other side, stuff like that. And it's so easy to be divided by this upcoming election and by this COVID. People are like, oh man, it's a hoax, it's BS, the government's it's conspiracy theory. That's fine if you feel that way, and then other people are super paranoid.
Right.
So but we still have to we forget that we're human beings. Just because you think it's one thing and I think it's the other, I can still be kind to you.
All right.
If you push me away, that's okay, but I
Exactly.
can still be a kind human being. I can still put it out there and try to be a gentleman. You know what I mean? We have to remember that. So I think people just need to take a deep breath and realize what they have and focus on what they have, not what they don't have. But it's gonna be a tough emotional. So it's gonna be physically, it's gonna be tough, but I think it's gonna be harder financially and emotionally for people.
Yeah.
So we have to find ways to keep ourselves busy, because then if you're not busy, we're just gonna go crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. In the house.
Yeah.
Or wherever you guys are.
I talked to a friend who works for the Los Angeles Police Department, and he said crime may go down, but domestic violence could go up because people are stuck at home. So we have to think about people, our small circle, our family. We have to maybe reconnect with them. Sadly, people, they stuck in the house, they might go crazy. But we have to think about we have to try to spread aloha and be patient with each other, because it's stressful for everybody.
Yeah.
It's really stressful for everybody. We have to just think that way.
And everybody's going through a different situation too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially for like a little insight, like my dad has dementia and he has Parkinson's too. So I worry about him because for him especially he has diabetes, so then he's more susceptible for something like this. Like if I did have the virus, right, and I was to go, but I didn't realize I had it with me, but then I pass it on to him, who knows what happens. So like just being able to just call him and just make sure he's safe and stuff like that, I can still build value like that and still connect with him, and people could do the same.
How much did it cost you to do that?
Yeah, nothing. I mean, a phone bill, but
Yeah, but it's small. Yeah,
But small,
like,
yeah.
Like I mean, last night it's not like I texted and called a couple people just tell, oh, bro, I love you, and like as a guy, like I'm very open with how I feel, like, but very people like grow up Asian, they don't say that, like, but I tell my dad and my parents like, you never know, but I tell people like some big bodybuilder goes, oh, but I love you, bro, and they go, oh wow, yeah, love you too, and then now they always go, love you, brother. But people need to realize it doesn't cost me anything. It doesn't make me any less of a man to say I love them. But if you just show people you care, and the truth is, I could keep telling you, Gavin, love you, whatever. And if you don't reciprocate, it's okay. We have to be able to just throw it out there, and something's going to stick. And if it doesn't, you may not reciprocate, and you may not show me anything. But inside, you still might get something from it. You go, wow.
over time.
Right, yeah. Well, that Eric, he's an irritating bugger, but he said he loved me, so maybe he really does. It makes you feel a little bit better. Even if you never expressed it, you have to keep that stone face. I'm not trying to change your life, but if that small little thing, me pestering you over and over again, made your life better, then cool. It doesn't cost me, but the hard part is a lot of times we do things with intentions. Yeah, I only tell you this because I want something back from you, and that's the hard part. Yeah, and you can really see, and like this virus, I think will really show the true side of people.
True.
Like, am I doing this just to get more awareness through you, using you? But I'm super appreciative of this opportunity. And I think you realize that too. Yeah,
and I'm super appreciative.
Yeah, so I think we both will benefit from this. It's very reciprocal. But I think this kind of stressful situations bring out the best or worst in people. We're gonna really see who our friends are. We're gonna really see who's greedy, who's generous, who's hoarding, who's selfish. I'd love to see more aloha. I'd love to see people practice it, not only say it. We're going to see what companies are really taking care of their employees. They're really going to, these companies are making millions of dollars. And when it comes down to it, are they going to try their best to help their employees? Or are they going to go, sorry? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, we got to do what we can to support small businesses. And so I seen some companies that have really stepped up and helped their employees. Because, I mean, and I don't want to crap on the airline industry, but, it's like, I want to go fly somewhere. It cost me $700 to go to Vegas. And then now it's $248. So, and then the government's going to bail out the airline industry. So it's funny how you can just take all my money and jack up everything. But then now you're having a hard time. Now the government's got to bail you out. So I think we just kind of have to be in the middle. It just shows greed. You know what I mean? It exposes stuff. We're talking about like the NFL. Here we are talking about like, okay, we got to plan ahead, make sure we have enough toilet paper, make sure our neighbors have food, and guys are getting $100 million contracts. People are crying Tom Brady's leaving. It's not the end of the world. He's rich. So
making millions of dollars just to go to another team.
Right.
I mean, he's not crying for that.
And it's not his fault. It's a good distraction, but I mean, sports are such a good distraction, and it's such a good entertainment. It's people's livelihood. But when you get down to brass taxes, we have to think about human beings and health and safety. It's easy to go, oh, we cannot play football. I cannot go to my bodybuilding show. I'm going to miss this. I'm going to miss that. But if you're sick or dead, you can't do none of that. So you have to think about the core values of being helpful and healthy and just, taking care of people.
And moving forward.
Exactly, yeah. Definitely moving forward, yeah.
Just having that progressive mindset, you know what I mean? I think that's important because like I was saying earlier, this thing may pass over, you know what I mean? Hopefully soon. Yeah. And what happens after that? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Is there life after? I mean, we have to plan for that. I mean, I'm hoping that it's like they're talking, I'm hoping it peaks in a couple of weeks. Or maybe, and then I would love to see on the other side of May or June we're coming out of this. I mean, I think Hawaii's I don't want to get political, but we're a little bit behind the curve. We should have been more proactive before.
We saw it coming, that's why.
I think it's going to probably get a little worse before it gets better. But because the island's small, we can go two ways. Yeah, we can really hui together as a committee, or we can really splinter apart and just be terrible. Because, like you said, after this is done, you're still going to be my neighbor.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean, right? You're still we can crap on everybody. We can talk about Matson, but they're doing their job. Or we can work together. Like, oh, the bank is closed. Like, they got to close. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, Starbucks. I mean, I hear people complain about Starbucks. Like, it's become an institution, and I love Starbucks, but it's not the end of the world. We survived without cell phones and Starbucks before. We can survive without both of those now. What if the power went out? What if the cell towers went out and we had
much
no
worse.
internet? Would we die?
Yeah, we're not gonna die, but we just have to adjust it.
Monopoly and tic-tac-toe and go in the yard, right? Somebody, and it's funny because my business is really, it's really blossomed because of the internet. But I was saying the other day, it would almost be hilarious. Maybe communication if the internet went down. Wouldn't that be amazing? I mean, we'd figure out ways to communicate. Yeah, we become so enabled, and kids nowadays. And I'm a cell phone freak. I'm on it all the time. So I'm trying to pull back and realize that we need to do this more. Yeah, we're We're probably not 6 feet, but
Yeah.
but we're good. You know what I mean? But just people need to be able to reconnect and meet with you. Yeah. The beach is a good idea, man.
You might be able to sell all your shirts at the beach. You know,
You never know. Yeah, but just I think we need to. We get so distracted by so many things. Maybe this is going to help us realize what we have, or what we don't have, or what we need to work on. You know,
what we need to work on.
Expose a lot of things. Right. Like, maybe I should have really cleaned the house, or maybe I should have spent more time reading with my kids, or maybe I should talk to my wife, or maybe I should do those tasks, that to-do list I had, clean the yard, whatever. You know what I mean? And just all those things, projects that I wanted to do before.
Right.
You know,
like you were saying, taking 2 steps back in order to see, or in order to progress forward. You know, and see what's weak right now in people's lives and stuff.
And what you're talking about too, we have to watch and not react.
Yeah,
we have to watch. Exactly. So we can't necessarily control the outcome. I posted this the other day, but we can control our outlook and our perspective and how we react. So it's gonna be interesting to see how people react. So we're so reactionary because like, oh my God, all the sensationalism of mainstream media, this and that. Like, oh, we're gonna panic and people reposting stuff, and I have to watch what I repost. But I think we have to realize how we react affects your family, your spouse, your child, or people around you. So we can react in a positive way and create great positive social change.
Right.
Or we can create mass hysteria. So, I mean, I'm not, like you and me, we're just small time. We're not a big influence, but I think we do have an impact on the committee. And yours is growing and mine is growing. So I think this is our responsibility. We're accountable.
Yes.
Because this will help our business or our brand or our message grow, but we have to be responsible with our message. We could easily slant it one way.
Yep.
And like you say, we could easally get sponsors and sell it this way.
Yeah.
But that you wouldn't be true to you, right? I wouldn't be true to me. Like I've had many opportunities for people to sponsor and they wanna brand with me and collab with me, but this is my baby. This is I kind of want to. I'm hard headed. I want to do it my way. But that's what I believe in. And you're passionate about what you do.
All right.
And I don't want to dilute it with something else. So I think people need to stay true. So.
And it's a great point that you put that, because like I was just in the car with my wife yesterday, and she would say normally I would freak out about this situation, but she's been very calm and she's been very logical, and she said it's because you haven't been panicking. And it's because and I told her, it's because I'm thinking before I'm acting. I'm not I'm reacting in a different way to what the media is saying by saying, okay, I got to be proactive in resources, got to be proactive in what I'm doing, being intentional, because I think that's important every day. I mean, every day we should be living intentionally, but more so than not now. We have to live intentionally, and we got to be careful of what we're doing, and spread positive messages, spread positive media.
Now we have time to plan.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so I was saying somebody, you have time to panic or time to plan. Time to panic or time to be proactive. So like I was this guy, you ever hear of Jocko Willink? He has a
Sounds
podcast.
Familiar.
Yeah, so he has these books and talk about leading, and he's saying there's a couple things you have to do. You have to take time to prioritize and then execute. So I've had more time to think about the next 2, 4, 6 weeks what I'm going to do. Me and my wife are supposed to travel, so we're not going to travel. So I have more time to do that, and I was planning around. So I'm thinking, okay, plan ahead. So maybe the next 2 to 4 weeks my business is going to slow down. What can I do? I can do things to clean the house. I can plan ahead with my brand. I can plan things for the future, because it's gonna get better. I'm a eternal optimist. Everybody who knows me knows I'm an eternal optimist. So if everything is delayed, that's fine. But I have more time to plan out. Okay, clean the yard, set up a new print, write the book, spend more time with my son, do this. I have time to plan. But once I plan, it doesn't make any difference if I don't execute. So I need to put everything into action, and I slowly have a list and start executing these things, especially if I have time. So once I prioritize and plan, I need to execute those things. And if I have more time, which people are going to start having more time now, you need to make use of your time. So we can totally waste our time. And this brings up things I've been talking with my clients. A lot of people have anxiety. So and I'm a pretty happy-go-lucky guy. I'm very fortunate, but I realize that this is a very anxious time. So there's going to be a lot of people with emotional stress and a lot of, like you see all the commercials. I mean, all of a sudden there's tons of medications for emotional stuff. So I mean, and it's obvious, but it's bigger than people think. And if you start really asking people, hey, Gavin, how you doing? Oh, I'm fine. No, really, how are you doing? Well, honestly. And then I start digging, if you want to, and realizing that we're not perfect. I have lots and lots of clients, and they slowly will open up and talk, well, I have this, I have anxiety, I got this, I got depression. Like, wow, I would never guess. Because you look at them, and my wife always tells me, like, you never know what people are going through. Don't yell at people on the freeway, because somebody could be, their wife could be dying, or they could be really depressed. And people wear these masks all the time. Not an N95 mask, but people wear masks all the time. I'm the type of person, I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve, but I have days where I'm feeling junk. And I talked about this in one of my videos before, is because I always put myself out there and I'm pretty positive and I'm open, a lot of times people don't ask me how I'm doing because I'm the guy who motivates them. So sometimes I get frustrated. She's like, well, Eric, you put yourself out there so people think you're always happy-go-lucky and your life is perfect. It's not. But they never take the chance to ask me how I'm doing, because sometimes I need people to go, hey, Eric, how are you doing? And I'm not the type to complain, so I don't want to go, oh, Gavin, I'm having a rough day. I got vertigo. I got my legs. But sometimes we need to make sure that the people who look like they have it all are very successful. We need to ask them. I look at all the stars who've committed suicide or have all this drama. They have all this money, but there's a lot of pressure. So I'm realizing that some of the more simple people who aren't rich, they're okay because they know where they're at. They know their surroundings. They know what they got. They work hard. People have so much. They get so clouded by stuff. So we need to make sure that we take time to ask everybody, the homeless guy and the billionaire guy, are you okay?
Yeah, because we're all human.
Yeah. We forget that, though. Yeah, we forget. And our perception of people on Instagram is not the real thing.
Yeah.
It's easy to put a filter and show a certain way, but it's not necessarily real life. So I see people on their Instagram, I go, wow, look at that. And then they send me a DM and it's a total different person. They're having a rough time. They're not the person you thought they were. They're super insecure, and that's okay. I never put them down. On their Instagram, they got incredible physique. They got all this money in their cars, and I realized they got tons of loans, and they got bad credit, and it's just a show. But it's easy to portray something on Instagram that you're not, right? And then you meet them in person, like, oh, Gavin's not blonde. You know what I mean? Yeah. Eric, I thought you were taller. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's perception. Yeah. So I think the
I didn't know you were Japanese, Gavin.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm Japanese too. Yeah. Imagine that.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And then he goes, how come you get Japanese name? I go, I'm Japanese. Like, but you look Howley. I go, I'm half Howley. I'm Chinese too. But I think that once we realize we get a place where we're a little bit comfortable with who we are, then we can be better people. So I think, but it's not easy to be comfortable in your own skin. And these times, because it's Corona, it might be worse for people because they have to deal now. They don't have the distraction of watching football, going to work, or going to the club, or going to the mall, or going to Starbucks. All these distractions are taken away. So I'm not worried, but I think we need to keep doing what we're doing is with this positive message, because it's going to be another couple weeks. If we really become sequestered and quarantined, a lot of issues are going to come up because people have to deal with reality of no more toilet paper, no more food, or no more money, or dealing with people like this close when it's so easy to be on our phone and not talk to our wife or not talk to our friends and be distance, whatever. All the introverts are happy, but now we have to actually deal with real life issues, and everybody has to deal with them. Even if you're rich, you could have more food, but you still have to be sequestered. So we're still dealing with this mentality. So I think we have to realize that we're humans again. We're back to that same situation. Yeah.
So one thing I want to talk about is these shirts over here.
Okay.
Yeah, because just a few months ago, 2020 has been really interesting.
It's been an interesting, heavy year. Yeah, we're thinking 2020.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a reboot.
I'm not sure if anybody can see this, but these are everyday better shirts for the two officers that were in that incident. Was it in January?
Yeah, so there was February 19th.
Oh, February.
Yeah. Wait,
wow.
January, February?
Maybe it was. What does it say on my back?
January 9th.
January?
January 9th. Yeah, 1/19/2020. Yeah.
Wow.
That was a heavy day.
Wow. It's crazy.
The state has never been the same. It was very impactful. I've never seen anything like that. My father was a retired HPD officer. He's been in law enforcement for over 45 years. So I just couldn't imagine him not coming home. I have people that say, you train for war, you train for gunfights like that in war. When you're a police officer and you're going to Diamond Head, you don't expect to get shot. That's the ultimate sacrifice. It was just devastating to the police officers, the community, the whole state. My son really wants to be a police officer. That's his goal. So I'm surrounded. My dad in law enforcement. My son wants to be in law enforcement. So I thought, this is just heavy. We have to do what we can, and these families are never going to be the same. So what can we do? And people are like, they're sending prayers and aloha, but what is that does some. But I thought, okay, we have to do the same thing, proactive. So every day better. This is why I started to be proactive, to create change, to do something for good. So called Maui Bay Shirt Co. Let's put up a shirt. And because I'm not a police officer, I didn't want to do a memorial shirt. I wanted to be sensitive to what they did. I didn't want to. We thought about putting their names, their badge numbers. Okay, we'll just keep it really basic. So we went with the Everyday Better logo. We just wanted people to know that they have to, life goes on. So we'll memorialize them, but we want to keep it positive. So the blue line is a very universal symbol for law enforcement. They're the thin blue line between the society and the criminals. And on the back we put EOW, so end of watch. So that's the day that they passed. That's the day they gave their ultimate sacrifice. That's the date. So we kept it really simple. It was a risk. I didn't know how people were going to accept it, but I have a pretty good following, so we just posted it up, and we raised $8,000 in a couple months. So I was very it's very emotional. Just the people reaching out and the message that I've gotten. I didn't do this for me. I just did it because I wanted to do something to help out. So basically, all the profits from the shirt went straight to the family. So we're gonna meet with the chief in a week and give the checks to the family. Some of the family's gonna be there, but we want to make sure that each family gets the money. And this is our way of kind of giving back and just showing that we appreciate their service, we appreciate the sacrifice they did. They have children and families, and they're gonna forever be affected. There's a family member gone, a public service gone, and these are breadwinners that are gone too. So we just want to do our part. I think people need to do what they can, and I have this opportunity to do this, have a good vehicle to do it. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity, But people have been amazing, reaching out and been very, very supportive. They're proud to wear the shirts. I've met a lot of great people, a lot of law enforcement people, and it's just been amazing. So it's like same thing back to the community, making every day better. So we're going to continue to do, Every Day Better is going to continue to do things in the community like that to help. Yeah, we have lots of projects coming up. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it represents your brand, Everyday Better, and how being proactive in the community, being able to spread a positive message, and I just think it's amazing how a positive message like that can spread. We talked about this earlier, that you don't have a website for your brand, but the fact that it spreads so much that people are getting influenced by it. It's touching people's lives. It's really reaching out to others just through social media. I think that's awesome.
It's been, we've, in the last couple of months, so this is almost a year, last couple of months, I've shipped stuff to Africa, Germany, New Zealand, Australia,
Amazing.
Korea,
Wow.
Japan, Europe. I mean, and I have people, all over the world. So, I mean, it's going global. And that wasn't the goal, but it's exciting to see how far reaching you can spread your message if it's a positive one, And it's just, it's small steps, but every day, people are starting to spread the message, and they're beginning to buy into it and understand it. I'm just trying to be consistent with the content and keeping it really positive and sharing with people. And I think the shirts are a really good vehicle of people wearing it and just being positive. Every day people message me, go, I was at the mall or I was at the airport, before this. And people always go, Every Day Better. They can't not say it. It's such a bold statement. And they go, Every Day Better. I like that. And then, people will message me, goes, I saw this guy in the airport. And then he said, just go to the Instagram. And I just Googled it and I saw you and I want to get a shirt. And the stories have been really, really amazing of how people found it. My friend had a shirt. He called this other guy. And then if you want something, you'll figure it out. So people they'll dig around and they find me and then I send them a shirt. So it's like, it's been kind of an amazing experience, journey for me already. It's helped me be a better person. I've grown a lot. If it all ended today, I'd be super grateful. I mean, I never knew it was going to be like this. I never knew it was going to be this big. It's still not huge, but I mean, like I always say, I'd love to get The Rock to have a couple shirts, and I love to be on the Ellen show and just talk about my message from Hawaii. But I mean,
that's a great message.
Yeah, any vehicle I can get out there, and it's really not about me. It's just more about creating social change and creating positivity. So I have a lot
community.
A lot of projects coming up that I want to help with people. Like I said, we're starting to do fundraisers. So I'm even involved with sports teams and schools and churches. So people, like a lot of times you do fundraisers, you sell cookies or you sell Portuguese sausage or bread or whatever. And then the turnaround is pretty small. You make $1 or $2 and you got to hustle really hard. So like, let's say you have a soccer team and you're going to go travel. So what we're doing now is with Every Day Better, people can DM me or they can call me and we'll help you do a t-shirt for your team. So like, let's say your team is blue and gold or whatever we make. So we make the Every Day Better with my logo, blue and gold, and we'll put your logo on the back. And then basically, I sell it to you about cost. I don't really make much money on it, and then you get the profit. So, you sell the shirt for $25, and the team can make, 8, 10, 12, 15 bucks a shirt because you guys get all the profit. So my message gets out there, and the team gets a good return on their profit. The kids will buy it, the family will buy it. So I'm working on like 6 or 7 projects now with schools and marching band and churches where they get to push their message out. Yeah. So everybody benefits, and that's what I want. So it's like my brand gets out there as a positive vibe. These guys get a different shirt with a different colorway with their logo on it, and they get opportunity to make a profit. So everybody's benefiting, and that's what we need to do. We need to realize that we can do stuff to help other people when we get back. Yep. Yeah.
That's making a difference.
Yeah, I don't need to get monetarily back, but just, it's my way of spreading my message and my brand, and it's a positive thing that we're trying to do, So.
And that's awesome too, because like versus like, Girl Scout cookies, T-shirts like these, it's tangible. You can wear it over and over again. Like the Girl Scout cookies, you eat a cookie and it's gone forever. You know what I mean? But then, something like this is special because then, people can wear it. They wear it in the community. They say, hey, where'd you get that from? And how come the church logo's in the back there? Oh, well, because he got it from Eric,
It's a positive change. And like I said, it's a bold message, but I mean, it stimulates conversation sometimes.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just trying to help and give back, and everybody can benefit from it. So, and in the same way, it's a grassroots thing. I'm meeting new people, so I'm getting to different demographics and just basically spreading my message. So, it's not race or denomination or creed or color, but people are starting to reach out to me, and I want to be able to help people, and this is my way of helping people in a positive way. Passion over profits.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's been interesting because I'm a people person, so I like to talk to people. So every time I talk to people, like, oh, what are you talking about? What do you wear a shirt? And then they see someone else doing it. I said, yeah, this is just an opportunity. You don't have to do it, but we can create this and help you guys out. And they go, wow, that's a kind of good vehicle. And then I want my kid to wear a positive shirt instead of another logo.
Right.
So that way everybody's growing, and like I said, being a community working together and making every day better. It's been really exciting. I look forward to this next year, this 2020. Even though right now it's a tough time, to just keep pushing. So I'm gonna just keep pushing positivity as much as I can. With the brand.
And it leaves a legacy here too, because I think a lot of people get caught up in profit, but the thing is, they could die the next day, and all that profit goes. Goodbye. But something like this is it's meaningful. You can pass it on to generations. You know what I mean? And people are gonna remember that. One thing I want to talk about is I thought this was interesting. So you recently emceed for the Sean Ray Classic.
Yeah.
Recently. And then how'd you even meet him? I think that's very interesting.
Sean Ray. So Sean Ray is a bodybuilding legend icon.
Yeah.
So he turned pro, I think, in 89 at 21. And I was already getting into bodybuilding. Yeah. So I started competing in 87, at the young age. I'm an old guy. But back then it was just American Muscle on cable. There was magazines. There was no internet. Yeah. I think internet was around like 90, 91. Yeah. So Sean Ray was one of the top bodybuilders in the world, and super young, and one of the most promising guys. And I followed his career, and he was an idol of mine. And then in 1996, Sean had been competing as a pro already. I won the USA Championship in Long Beach, California. And Sean Ray was there, and I got to meet him, took a picture with him. And I was like, wow, this is Sean Ray. And then I hadn't seen him for years, and then I'd bump into him at shows and stuff like that. He was, he won every possible title they could, had a huge career. And then he's retired and started promoting shows and being involved, and he's very, very involved in the body community. And then he came down here to promote a show, I think, in Hawaii, and we talked story a little while, and then chopped it up, and then, we just started talking, and he wanted to do a show down here. We just connected because we're both in our 50s, and we're both parents, and we both love bodybuilding, and I gave him a shirt, and we became good friends. So now he's been awesome. So now he promotes a show in Hawaii. He promotes shows all over the world, and he had an MC, and I had my brand, and I just told him, I said, you know what, dude, I'm a good MC. You should use me. He's like, what? And I'm very honest about that. Like I said, yeah. There's a lot of MCs out there, but I know bodybuilding. I've been doing bodybuilding for 30 years.
Right.
I'm exciting. I have a good time, and I love bodybuilding. I know I'm passionate about it. He's like, oh, you're right. So sometimes you just have to be open about it. I wasn't trying to brag, but I said, hey, I put in his ear. I said, hey, you should consider me to be your MC next time. And he thought about it, and then it worked. He said, okay. So we developed this friendship. We text and talk all the time.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's pretty cool because he's such a legend, but he's actually a really good great guy, good family man, good father, and a really, really good businessman. So I've learned a lot from him as far as promoting and emceeing. And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to MC his last show, and I'll MC it again this year. We had an Everyday Better booth at the show. It was incredible. So we both benefit, you know, and he wears my stuff. It's been awesome. You know, he has a huge global reach. So I'm always grateful when. Thank you, Sean, for wearing my Everyday Better gear. I'm gonna have to buy him dinner now. But yeah, but it's been
Morton's.
but it's been cool. So yeah, to have somebody that you know that high
that connection, that relationship.
But I think just being real. You know, I was just real with him and said what I can do, and I'm fortunate. I love emceeing stuff. You know, so you know I emceed a lot of shows last year. I did the Maui Classic. I did the Sean Ray Classic. I did the Ikaika. Yeah. This year we're gonna do the Armed Forces and do a lot of shows. So I'm gonna MC some weddings. Yeah. You know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. A couple years ago I did like 12 weddings.
Oh.
Weddings are fun, but weddings I like emceeing weddings if I know the people. If I don't know the people, it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
But I have no shame in my game, and I like being out there. So emceeing stuff is fun for me. And you know it's cool because I get to wear my clothes. Yeah, so it's free advertising. Yeah. But yeah, I mean anything I can do to be out there and spread positivity. You know, it helps with my brand. It helps with my training, and just you know, it keeps me young. It keeps me positive. Yeah. So I love doing what I do. I try to be honest about everything, so it keeps me real. You know.
Yeah, if you guys need an MC, right over here.
Let me know. Yeah.
Put him up, Hawaii trainer, man.
Not too many social events this week, but yeah.
yeah.
Let me
That's
know.
true.
We can book me. Yeah.
If you want to MC an online event,
yeah, exactly. We should have an online bodybuilding show where people can view. Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
actually.
somebody talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an interesting idea, actually. Yeah.
Makani, Lanai's brother, made that point the other day. They should have an online bodybuilding show, and then people, you know, they just go online and you know, they can vote. That'd be kind of, you never know. That'd be kind of an interesting concept.
Yeah, run polls right there.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And then
don't steal our idea. But yeah.
No, that's a great idea, actually. I mean, that's also going back to just the whole adapting to things, you know?
Thinking outside the box, being proactive, and like I said, like I have tons and tons of ideas that I have in a little notebook beside my bed that I never put into action. But now I'm planning, prioritizing, and executing. I think life is short sometimes, yeah? So you have to take these opportunities, and every time I think of an idea now, I call people. And because I talk to so many people, people go, oh, man, you're so lucky. I'm like, I don't know about luck, but I'm proactive and I meet a lot of people, and then eventually these people, you help them, they help you. So I don't call for favors if they're not my friends, but the more connections you make, the easier it is for people to help you. They want to help you. So everything I have now is because I worked hard to get. And maybe it's my personality, maybe it's my wit and charm, but if you make connections with people
and put yourself out there,
then they're going to want to wear your shirt, or they're going to want to talk good about you and just do good things. And if your heart's in the right place, it comes back. Yeah. And you want to share. You want to share with people, they're going to want to share with you. They're going to want to help you. You know, so every time I have an idea, I think about these things and I'm excited about it. People buy into it, you know. So I think people just need to take more chances sometimes. It's a calculated risk, but with this brand, it's been fun. Every time I have an idea put out there, and if it doesn't work, then that's how you learn, right? Yeah. You know, you make a mistake and then you redo it and make it better every time. So that's how we grow. Otherwise, we're just gonna be the same place over and over again.
Right. Yeah.
So I've taken some calculated risk and it's been fun, and I make mistakes, but then that's how you grow. Yeah, you got to make mistakes, I think.
And you got to put yourself out there.
Yeah,
you know?
I think you have to. Yeah.
Because like if not, then nobody's gonna know who you are, right?
Yeah, it's like me saying that I'm tan and tall.
Yeah.
You know, so people see me, they know already. Like I pretty much, people feel like they know me, and every time I talk about, like, if I'm driving in traffic, I'm frustrated for something. People like will message me, goes, oh, thank you, I really related to that. I'm frustrated about that, and you just kept it real. I said, yeah, I'm not fixing it or making it perfect, but this is how I felt today. This is what I think are the best ways to resolve it. And you go, oh, that's really, really cool. Instead of going, oh, I'm perfect, I ate chicken and broccoli and I have $1 million. Yeah, that's not true. You know, we have stresses in our life, and everybody's problems are a little bit different. Yeah. And none of them are too small. But I think the more I talk about regular stuff, the more people can relate to me on a different level. And I think that's what we need to. We need to be able to relate to people. Yeah. You know, you and me, we look like we're totally different, but I'm sure there's a lot of things that we can relate to. A lot of things that can be complete opposite. And those opposite things, maybe I can learn from you, or vice versa.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I tell my son, every person can teach you something. And he's like, what do you mean, Dad? I said, to that guy you can't stand, he can teach you not to be like him.
Just because of the way he was growing up, the experiences that he's had. Yeah, exactly.
So you can learn to be like that person, emulate them, or not be like that. The guy's a jerk, so then don't be like him. Yep. Be the good guy. Oh, good guys finish last. No. So people, everybody in our life is put there for a reason, to teach us something, to grow with them and go alongside them with their journey and just be amazing with them, or never want to be with them at all for some reason. And that's not a bad thing, but we have to. Yeah, we can complain about them, and I can talk bad about you, but where's that gonna get me? Oh, Gavin, Talk Story Podcast, so job, blah blah blah. Yeah, it's easy to do that, right? But
Right.
that I told myself, that's really showing where I'm at. That's showing that in my heart I must be angry or frustrated, right? Because if I'm gonna talk bad about you, there's no reason to talk bad about you. I'm talking about it to put you down, to make myself feel good. People do it all the time, and it makes me sad. But like, you're not perfect, neither am I. But I can build you up. We can build each other up, and instead of we can really try to shine the light on the good stuff, not the bad stuff.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to go, oh, Gavin, that guy. You know what I mean, right? It's easy to pick you apart. I'm so honest about myself. You can pick me. You can say, oh, but you're short. You're number 10. Big deal. I know that already. But I think I have good self-esteem. But it's easy to pick me apart. But instead of saying like, oh, this guy Gavin, he's really doing a great thing. He's really pushing the message. He's not perfect, but he's really trying to push positivity. There's so many things that we can focus on that is awesome, that we can work together. You know what I mean? Instead of focusing on the negative, it's so easy to do that. It's just easy, And then we're just wallowing in our cesspool of negativity. And we're not getting, it's terrible. I'd rather not be that person.
Yeah, not add fuel to the fire.
Right.
Kind of thing, right?
Yeah. There's so much stuff going on. There's so much media that's just over sensationalized. I think we need to be these slightly little beacons of light, and of aloha. So yeah.
And I agree with everything you just said, because like even for me, one of the best compliments I got was like, "Oh, you're the same person I hear on your podcast." You know what I mean? When they met me, and I was like, "That's exactly what I want to portray." It's not, you see me in my IG page, you see me doing my IG stories or IGTV or whatever, podcasts like this, and then when they meet me, it's the same person. Because I don't want to be someone that's completely different. Because then I'll be like, oh, now I'm not doing
using a filter.
Job. Yeah, I'm using a filter, and I'm not being authentic. And that's it. It's good to feel like that when you feel like you're authentic in your page, but also it translates to real life. Because then it doesn't feel like it feels a little effortless. You know what I mean? Like you don't feel like you're trying to be something else.
Authentic is a good word.
Yeah.
On the same aspect, people always say like, I'm just keeping it real, and I think that's just a cop out, because people. Like, oh, yeah, you're a certain way. I'm just keeping it real. But usually when they say keeping it real, they're just being mean. Yeah, just because, I mean, like to find a flaw in you and to point it out is the truth. But why say that? I mean, I'm just keeping it real. Like, well, why did you have to keep it real? I know who I am. You don't have to point that out. But people are so easy to point because they're trying to deflect. Because people are like, go back to, people are going through a lot of stuff. So they don't want to deal, so they deflect to other people. So I catch myself. It's easy to be judgy McJudger. So I try to watch what I say and what I do. It's hard because we're human beings, because we feel a certain way. So we get resentful. It's hard for me. Like I always say, watch for people who clap when you win or you lose. It's easy to just go, oh, I don't want Gavin to get too famous. I don't want his podcast to get more followers than me. Or I can celebrate your success. It's hard.
Right.
It's really hard for most people. For me, I mean, it's not, but it's for me. It's like, wow, Gavin's more famous than me. Good for him. It's hard to do that for most people. You have to be in a pretty good place to do that. But I think if we try harder to wish for success for people and celebrate the small successes for people, it's really hard. But we want the success for us. Like I want you to praise me and make me feel good. And if I praise you, that means I'm not so good. It has nothing to do with that. You know what I mean? Just because I clap for you doesn't mean I'm not happy about myself. There's enough to go around. We have to. And sadly, if you look at when you have success, you look around and see who's clapping. It's sometimes people, they kind of want you to go down because they feel like it's taking from them, and it's not that way at all. But we gotta kind of rewire our brains, I think.
Yeah. Gotta think in a different way. Like, that kind of goes back to like the whole competition between, are you competing against others, or are you competing against yourself?
Exactly.
And then like for me, like I'm always thinking, like I'm not even thinking about like other podcasters or people that have different shows. Like there's Talk Story with McKenna Maduli, which I actually thoroughly enjoy, and I enjoy your presence. And but the thing is, like for me, it's a competition with me. Like, am I doing better with my podcast? Am I doing better with each and every episode? And it's not about the other people. Like, oh, am I doing better than them? It never was, and it never will be, because in the end, I'm the one that's going to see it through.
It's easy to get distracted.
Yeah, it's easy to get
and you talked about authentic, which I really like, because you could keep watching everybody else, and then you're so distracted. I watch I'm 53 years old, so I don't think I'm a young buck, but I watch trends and what people do and stuff like that, but I try to stay true to what my gut says.
Yeah.
And every day better is my gut. So if you don't like it, that's cool. You can keep swiping.
Yeah.
If you don't like the shirts, you don't have to buy it. I haven't really had much negative stuff, but
I mean, either for my
but if you don't like it, that's okay, and I'm okay with it as long as you're not being mean. I mean, I just block you, but the truth is, I'm gonna constantly keep doing what I'm doing because there's enough people that want to listen to what I say, and if you don't agree with, that's okay. I like the dialogue, but just be respectful. As a trainer, sadly, a lot of trainers they want to tell you, Gavin, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. But my philosophy is a two-way street because every person I train, I learn from. So I train you and I'm going to learn something from you, what to do or what not to do, or how to deal with a certain relationship or a certain thing you have to do, or how to modify something for your leg or knee problem. You know what I mean? I learn because you're like, oh, Eric, I did this. And I go, oh, that's so good. We can do. We figured out something that's beneficial to you, but it's beneficial to me because you're going to get stronger and I'm going to help the next person at similar incident.
Yeah.
So it's a relationship that we have. It's a two-way street, but so many people are like, Talk Story Podcast is this way. You do it my way. And then you're tunnel vision, but you're not open to be a free thinker and to evolve. I think we need to learn to evolve. So I take advice from people. And it's hard because some people who haven't lived it, they give me advice, and obviously I'm not going to necessarily use that. But sometimes it makes me think. People need to practice what they preach. A lot of times it's easy on the internet to just say stuff and not follow through. So I never negate it. Go, okay, cool. If you talk to me about running marathons, you don't run marathons, I'll go take the advice. I may not use it, but I'm not going to be disrespectful. If I talk to you about playing in the NBA, I never played in the NBA, so you kind of look at me like, what are you talking about? But I might give good advice. So there's always something you can
take some take from people. Yeah.
So I think we just have to be open-minded, but like I said, we have to be respectful.
Yeah, definitely.
About people's boundaries and what they do, and just be kind, man. Spread aloha. It just we keep coming back to that. Yep. That's the theme though. Yeah.
So just on the theme of spreading aloha, just to wrap everything up, what kind of message do you want to tell people out there about what do you want them to get from this podcast?
That there's hope, just to be positive. I mean, you can honestly live every day better, and instead of being overwhelmed with the huge task of December and the mortgage and all the monster things, just think about okay, today is Wednesday the 18th, right? So March 18th. What can we do today? So coronavirus, economy is kind of rough. It's sunny outside, so I can make a plan to call my dad, make sure I have lunch, check on my wife, make sure I have supplies, maybe exercise. Just to think about what I can do today to make my life better. Small things.
Incremental.
Yeah, very small things. Instead of being overwhelmed, we can still have long-term goals, but set short-term goals that are attainable and achievable. So think about that, and then we don't get so overwhelmed. So it's small goals that I can know I can accomplish, which gives me a small level of success and gives me validation. I can celebrate. So we need to start celebrating small successes, small little things.
Definitely.
And make a list. Do those, and then work way to the bigger goals, and just like spread aloha, not corona. Just trying to live the aloha spirit, not only talk about, not only blah, 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 and just, and then F you on the freeway, try to really live it and think about, if we want good, we got to put good out too there, yeah. We have to watch what we say and what we do. We can talk about stuff, but if we don't do it, then that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
So if we really, really want change, like people talked about, Mauna Kea, this and that, like that. They agree or didn't agree, but they took action.
Yeah.
So whether you agree with it, that's one thing. But they did something about it. There's a lot of people sitting on the couch not doing nothing. So even if you don't agree that was the right thing to do, the wrong thing to do, but they took the risk of going up to that mountain and standing for something they believed in. And I respect that so much. So sometimes people do stuff that I can't stand, I disagree with, but they took a stand. So I mean, I don't want to support negative behavior, but I also don't want to support people sitting on their butts and talking crap. It's easy to sit on the internet and do nothing and talk about people.
Yeah, keyboard warriors.
Do something about it. Yeah, do something about it. And if you fail, then you fail. If you need help, then ask. And if nobody's gonna help you, then find people who will, because there are people that will. It's sad because if you really have nothing, then you really can see who your friends are. And this situation we're going with now, hopefully it's gonna turn around and be better, and the state's gonna be wonderful. But we will really see the truth in people. And I think we need to step back and realize who we have and who we don't have, and the ones we have to foster those relationships. And work on making those relationships stronger, and valuing and being grateful and telling people we appreciate them more. And it could be gone one day.
Definitely. Yeah. Or today or tomorrow.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Any minute.
Yeah.
nothing is promised to anybody.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right.
So you just got to make a difference.
Yeah.
That's every day better. Yep.
Yeah.
Make
Small
a difference.
difference, yeah.
Yep. Small differences every day.
Correct. Awesome.
Thank you again, Eric, for coming on my podcast and just sending out an inspiring message for everyone. And thank you for all the work you do. Do you want to shout out any of your, your brands you have all?
No, I just grateful for this opportunity. This is an incredible medium and an incredible vehicle for good. Like I said, I'm excited about doing more podcasts. I'm excited about starting my own.
I'm excited for that.
I'm
That's
just
awesome.
grateful that for this Everyday Better. It's been amazing for me and a lot of people. If you have questions or you have ideas or you want to get a shirt or whatever, I'm not really about pushing that, but just hit me up on Everyday Better Hawaii. We have a lot of things that we're working on to help the community with charities, planning up. We also want to be able to do sponsor teams and schools. So if you want a fundraiser, we'll be more than happy to work with you together. Send me a DM, and I'm open to all kinds of ideas. I just want to be out there and help people. That's the reason I did this. It's my passion. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very grateful. Thanks again, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate the opportunity.
And hit him up also on at Hawaii Trainer. That's on IG.
Yes.
Are you on Facebook too?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I'm all over
Hit him
the
up on Facebook. Hit him up everywhere. Just Google him.
I appreciate you guys.
It's probably out there. All right, guys. Hope you guys are staying safe, staying healthy, and thank you for tuning in. Hope you guys have a great day.
Aloha.
Shoots.